Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Ikhwatul Islami ibadallah. Once again, I'm reflecting off some of the wisdom of the elders. And this brings me to a particular sitting that I had with my father. It was one of those father-son moments. I was a teenager. I was sitting in a restaurant. There was a restaurant next to Masjid Bilal ibn Rabah on Crenshaw Boulevard for people that are familiar with Los Angeles. And if I'm not mistaken, the elder that owned that restaurant, his name was Bilal as well, if I'm not mistaken. But we were sitting eating fish sandwiches, and there was something that transpired within the restaurant that caused my father to look at me and say, "Remember this, there's no fool like an old fool." And this was based off something that had just occurred, and this is why my father looked at me and said that. The reality is that this particular expression is profound. This particular expression is profound. Why? Because when you analyze the expression and what's intended by it, we find that wisdom, first and foremost, is a gift that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala bestows on whomever He wills. And one of the ways that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala bestows wisdom upon a person is through life's experience. A person lives 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. He's experiencing different aspects of life, learning via trial and error. And so when he makes a mistake at one point in life, he learns from that, he benefits from that, and he doesn't repeat that same mistake again. And this is until the person eventually reaches his senior years, thus becoming an elder. A person may have lived 60 years of life, 70 years of life, 80 years of life. He now has a different perspective because of his life's experiences, and he's built up, on account of these life's experiences, wisdom. Wisdom. And this is something that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala gives our elders. Of course, wisdom can also be an inherent trait of a person as well. This is why you may find some people who are young moving wisely. Allah gives them discernment. And this is a gift from Allah. And then, of course, wisdom can be taught as well. Especially from the Islamic perspective, when you're learning the al-Qawa'id al-Fiqhiyya, then the level of wisdom is accompanied with that when learning about these different these Qawa'id and how to apply them in everyday life. So you could be a young individual with the understanding of these Qawa'id and how to apply them, and consequently you've learned and obtained an aspect of wisdom, because these principles, with them is wisdom, without a doubt. The point is, a person reaches 60, 70, 80 years of age through his life's experience because he accumulates wisdom. He's given wisdom on account of the different dealings throughout life. But for the person that reaches 60 years old and still approaches matters like a 20-year-old, a person in his early or mid-20s, or even in his late 20s, he still has an outlook and approach to things like that, then this is when the term or the expression comes into play. There's no fool like an old fool. You lived 80 years of your life, 70 years of your life, 60 years of your life, and you still can't move throughout this world, throughout this dunya, in a matter that's wiser than a 20-year-old? Than a 20-year-old? So this is what the expression entails. And the expression is very true. There is no fool like an old fool. And Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala knows best. وفقنا الله وإياكم. السلام عليكم.